we are live. This is the Youth For Yah. My name is Caden.
My name is Eli.
And my name is Jaden. And today we are doing Youth For Yah.
Yeah, we are so glad you could join us. We are very happy that you guys could be here with us today, and we appreciate that you guys would take some time to study Proverbs with us. And Proverbs is, for those who don't know, the book of wisdom, and wisdom is something you absolutely must have in life. It will get you out of lots of dangerous situations. It'll save your soul, and there's just so much more. It'll do everything for you. Wisdom is the absolute greatest thing you would have, and so we are here to understand what wisdom is. And for those who don't know, we are going to be referring to a few words like the Torah, Yahuwah, and the word Torah means God's name. That is, God is just a title. His real name is Yahuwah, which is Yod-He, Vod-He. So we are going to be referring to the Torah, which is the law, which will be the first 5 books of the Bible: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. And that is basically what we're going to be talking about. Last week we talked about Proverbs 11, and we talked about all the things in Proverbs, how your promises, how your laziness will get you hurt. And we're going to continue on from that. We are going to basically continue on in Proverbs 12, and if Eli, you would begin for us, we would be extremely grateful that you would begin in Proverbs 12. We are going to be all reading out of different Bibles here. He's reading here. We have now a split screen on this, which is NIV and the Sefer, and I'm going to be reading out Hallelujah Scriptures. So yeah, we are going to begin.
Right, and this is our 12th week of doing this, so almost 3 months to this. And for those who have been sticking around, thank you very much.
Alright, verse 1, and I will be reading out of the Sefer. Whoso loves instruction loves knowledge, but he that hates reproof is brutish.
Okay, whoever loves discipline loves knowledge. So if you like being reproved, right, and as a teenager, being told you're wrong, even as a kid being told you're wrong.
An adult, anytime in your life, nobody really likes being told that they are wrong. But those who love discipline or love instruction, you love knowledge, you love learning more, you love becoming a better person, you love having more information. But if you hate that correction, you are either brutish, or you hate that if you hate correction, you are stupid.
It says stupid, and that may be a harsh word, but that is how Solomon strictly puts it. He just says, someone that hates reproof, that hates being corrected, they're stupid, and there's no other way around that. If you hate reproof, unfortunately, you are stupid, and everyone with their point in their lives to the point where they do not want to hear correction, especially growing up in the teenage years. You do not want to hear what other people have to tell you, especially if it's correcting you or telling you did something wrong.
Right, but when we do something wrong, we should learn from that. We should be disciplined for when we do something wrong, and we should learn from that and take more knowledge and understanding and know better. We should learn and love instruction.
Verse 2, a good man obtains favor for Yahuwah, but a man of wicked devices will he condemn.
So, in NIV it says, no one can be established through wickedness, but the right...
It's verse 2.
Oh, my bad.
Good people obtain favor from the Lord, which is Yahuwah, but he condemns those who devise wicked schemes.
So those who are doing good, those are the just, the people that are following the Torah, and the people that are doing Yahuwah's will. It does what he wants them to do. He's on the straight and narrow path. Yahuwah, you obtain favor. Yahuwah will give you more than the wicked person. He puts favor upon you. But the wicked person, he will condemn. The person who is doing evil, there's a wicked person that's trying to condemn. He will condemn them. He will not favor the wicked as much as he favors the good.
He won't favor the wicked at all. He said he will punish them. He will condemn them. Those who devise wicked schemes, and there are a lot of people that can't be named in this world, high power, high rulers that are wicked schemes. You see wickedness all around you. They are lawless. There's nothing holy about it. And that is pretty much all we can say here on this channel. But you will know them by their fruits. You know the people that devise wicked schemes and the people that don't.
The Gran, thank you for joining us. How are you doing today, Granny?
Alright, verse 3. A man shall not be established by wickedness, but the root of the righteous shall not be moved. In the NIV it says, no one can be established through wickedness, but the righteous cannot be uprooted.
So there's some stuff here. If you gotta build your foundation. Remember when Yehoshua talked about build the 3 buildings and how they built their foundation? The wind beat upon the house and it tumbled the house. Well, it's the same thing here. If you do not build a solid foundation for yourself, that foundation needs to be on the Torah and Yehoshua. But if you do not build that solid foundation, you will crumble. And it's like it says the other person, they will be uprooted. They will be taken away. So we will not be moved if we're on a straight and narrow path. Our foundation will be solid. When wickedness comes and sin comes against us, we will not be moved by that sin because we will be founded upon that, and we will know that that is evil, and the sin, the wind will not blow our house over.
And especially if you are not established in faith in the Torah, if you are just believing in Christianity and you think you can do as you want and it'll be okay, God will forgive you. That is not true. He is going to eventually punish those. All the sins will be recorded. He says every idle word will be recorded. Everything you do will be against you on Judgment Day, and that's why he says, with what you judge, you will be judged, because of what you judge other people with. And if you are telling people that it is okay to eat pork, that it is okay to worship on Sunday, that Jesus is your Sabbath, you are leading people astray. Yahusha specifically talks about people who lead those astray. He said those people are going to be the least in the Shain. Those people are going to be cast out. He's like, I am going to say to them, you are wicked, depart from me. And if you have no base, you are going to crumble, like Jaden said when he gave the example of the three houses, the parable of 3 houses here. When it falls down, because it was had no foundation. But when you have a foundation, you are not going to crumble, especially because we've built houses before, we've built cement bases before that buildings build up on, and if it's not strong, it will fall over. If you don't have a solid foundation, when you pour out the concrete, it will fall over. The wind will blow all your bricks over, and you'll be picking up bricks for 2 days straight.
Verse 4: A virtuous woman is a crown to her man, but she that makes ashamed is his rottenness in his bones.
So
in the NIV it says, a wife of noble character is her husband's crown, but a disgraceful wife is like decay in his bones.
So there's a lot of things in here, but a virtuous woman, what I would look for in a woman is someone that dresses properly, that covers their skin, that's not trying to be of the world, that is obeying the Torah and following the Torah. The Torah, above all things, needs to be followed, and that's what, if you are looking for a virtuous woman, that is that right there, someone who follows Torah. So, guys, if you are a woman of Torah, it is very good to cover your body and clothe your body. You do not want to be of the world. And if you are not following Torah, you need to follow the Torah, because those are what you need to be doing. You will be a crown to your husband.
And not only that, you'll get blessings, and Yah favors those who are in the Torah. Especially, there's a lot of good stories about women, virtuous women of the Torah that were father, and how they were blessed, and how they basically became heroes of the Bible.
Right? And if you don't follow Torah, you can be decayed to your husband. You can breaking your husband down, because the Torah talks about love and all these things, and you will not be doing these evil things, and your husband will not have his bones being decayed.
And here we can reverse the roles here as well. We can also say that a virtuous man will keep the Torah. He will stay faithful to his wife. He will provide for his family, and that's God created. He says man and woman will join together, and a family should be in the Torah. A man should be leading his family in the Torah.
Right. Jasmine, thank you for joining us.
Verse 5: The thoughts of the righteous are right, but the counsels of the wicked are deceit.
So that's pretty self-explanatory, but the judgments of the righteous are upright, right? There is nothing wrong with the judgment, because they know the Torah. Back in the day, in the Bible days, when you had a matter, you would bring it before the judges, and they were all very schooled. They were very learned in the Torah. They knew what the Torah says, and it's like remember when Solomon, there's a story of him where 2 women have a quarrel over a baby, and one says, this baby was mine, and she stole it from me in the middle of the night, and the other lady says, no, this baby was rolled over by her mother, and she killed her by smothering on accident, so she took mine. And Solomon had to use his righteous judgment. He had to understand. He said, all right, cut the baby in half and give it to him. And the woman, the actual mother, cried out and said, no, she can have the baby, let the baby live. And the other one said, yes, we'll split the baby. And Solomon says, all right, give it to the woman, give the baby to the woman who wanted to give the baby to the other woman, because that is the true mother, because she loved that baby. And he understood what wisdom was. He understood what the judgments were, because he was a righteous man at that time.
Verse 6: The words of the wicked are to lie in wait for blood, but the mouth of Yasharim shall deliver them. And Yasharim means upright.
So words of wickedness are, it's like a two-edged sword here. You have a blade that cuts. When you hear words of wickedness, it hurts. There are words that are meant to set you off, whether it is you hear something evil from the news, whether it is you hear something that is wickedness and it upsets you. There are words, Hasatan used words to provoke people. If you read in the book of Jasher, you see that the devil himself came to Sarah when Isaac was going to be sacrificed, when Yahuwah said, you are going to sacrifice your son to me. Hasatan went to Sarah and said, "Your son was died." Abraham stabbed him and killed him, and now you have no son. And she freaked out. She was having a panic attack. She freaked out the entire time. And then moments later, after Yahuwah had brought out the goat, had showed them that is going to be the sacrifice, that Yahuwah is going to bless Abraham, Hasatan came back to Sarah, and he came back and said, "Your son's alive. Everything's okay." And it made her so happy that her son was alive. She died of a heart attack because of all the things she went through. And that's how words can kill people. There will be demons incarnate that will speak through people that will be wicked. But the words of the righteous will save people. It will protect people. It will keep you in a steady path. If you hear a word of righteousness, it is going to be healing to your bones. It is going to be a blessing to you.
Right, the words of wickedness. People that are wicked will always be trying to do evil things. And if you have wicked words, you'll be like, "Hey, let's go steal from this person." That's wicked. Wickedness is breaking the Torah. That's sinfulness. And if you are wicked, you are breaking the Torah. And so if you are a person saying evil things against the Torah, or slandering your neighbor, or saying something evil to your neighbor, that is wickedness. Wickedness is outside of love. There's no love inside of wickedness. So if you are hurting your neighbor with your words, or you are hurting your brother, your family member, and we have a lot of the time, we have wickedness in our hearts and minds a lot of the times, because we have brothers and we fight, and we don't say very great things to each other, not all the time. And so we do have fights, and those who have had brothers or siblings or cousins or something really close to them, you have had your arguments, you've said mean things to them, and you always end up saying sorry to them because you do love them, but at that moment you were very evil, and you let the devils take over you, and the wickedness came into your heart.
Verse 7. The wicked are overthrown, and are not, but the house of the righteous shall stand.
And again, we have the foundation. The wicked are gone, right? The wicked do not have foundation because their wickedness, they will be cast out. But the righteous will stand. They will be on firm ground. They'll have a solid foundation.
It says Yahuwah will overthrow the wicked, and he will put the righteousness in a firm position. He will not let us fall. He will not let us be shaken off our path, on our narrow path as we walk. He will let us walk firm. He will bless us. He will keep us there. If we know the Torah and we do the Torah, and that's what our entire goal in life should be, is to do the Torah, do the will of our Father, which was His commandments, which He gave to us.
Right, and what is righteousness? Righteousness is following Torah. If you are in the Torah, if you are understanding Torah and following the Torah, that is righteousness. That is the closest we can get to righteousness. Yehoshua was righteous in everything he did, and he followed the Torah. He loved his neighbor. He said kind words. He didn't do anything evil to them, and he was able to judge nicely. When he told people that they were sinning, he was able to give them parables, and he didn't say anything evil to them. But he told them what was going to happen if they didn't turn away. And he said it all out of love. He really wanted his people to come back into the Torah, because Yisrael was outside of the Torah. And so if we are not in righteousness, we are inside wickedness, and righteousness is on the straight and narrow path. And if you're not on the straight and narrow path, you do not make it. For it says, broad is the way that leads to destruction, and narrow is the gate, and few that find it. So if you are not on that narrow path and passing through the small gate, then it is time to change your ways and strive to pass through that small gate.
Verse 8. A man shall be condemned according to his wisdom, but he that has a perverse heart shall be despised. In the NIV it says, a person is praised according to their prudence, and one with a warped mind is despised.
Yes, you despise the person that has a warped mind. You know the people that are working wickedness, and you despise them. Nobody enjoys the people of wickedness unless they are all as well as people of wickedness.
Right. When you see someone sinning, you know they're a sinner, right? And people know they're a sinner. They know their hearts are wicked. You will despise that person for their evilness. And the people that have wicked hearts, you will not want to be around, because they can rub off on you, and you can become that kind of wicked person. So you don't want to be around the wicked person. You will despise them. And most people do. When people see wicked things, they will be like, oh, that's terrible. But the world is so far gone at this point that wickedness just abounds, and everyone thinks it's normal.
And it says wisdom is going to be praised. Those who have wisdom, those who walk in Torah, will be praised. And it may not be by men, but of the messengers and of Yahuwah, of all the heavenly realm. They will be praised. They will be blessed. Their light will shine upon them.
Verse 9. He that is despised and has a servant is better than he that honors himself and lacks bread. In the NIV, it's more clear. Better to be a nobody and yet have a servant than pretend to be somebody and have no food.
So if you try to be a somebody and try to look like you have all this and you're doing great in life and this, it is better not to fake it. It's better to have a servant and have food and money than it is to have nothing to eat. Because if you are showing the world that you are a great person, that you think you're great and everything, and you have no food, that means you are not great because you can't even feed yourself. And so it's better not to be that kind of pompous person, but it is better to have a servant and be able to afford food and feed your servant than it is to have no food at all.
And it kind of goes into today's world, because if you look at today's world, everything is about, look at me, look how great I am, and most of it is fake. Most of these people are not what they say they are. Everything in life is lies to get popularity, to get fame, to get wealth, whatever it is.
Subscribers, followers, whatever
whatever it is.
Social media.
Social media especially, life is very fake, and they live in a life of depression, and because all they strive for is to have worldly desires instead of striving for Yahuwah. But those who have, like what it says, a servant, and now there's no servants nowadays. There were back in the day, there were people who servants.
You might
have an employee, right? If you can afford an employee, right, you have bread on your table. You're able to feed this employee. You're able to pay him his monthly wage, and it's better to be humble and be quiet, not showing off the world who you are, but rather doing your works in secret, where Yah will bless you. To where you have bread and you have supplies that Yah has provided you, and then instead of trying to show the world that you are something when you are nothing.
Verse 10, a righteous man regards the life of his beast, but the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel. In the NIV it says, the righteous care for the needs of their animals, but the kindest acts of the wicked are cruel.
So the righteous man, the just man, the man with a good heart, the person following Torah and obeying Yahuwah, it says he will care for his animals, his beasts, his cows, his dogs, his fish, whatever it is, whatever he has, whatever animal he has. He said he'll care for him because he knows every life is important no matter what. It is a creation of Yahuwah. And if you hate animals because of some reason, you shouldn't, because every man should care for the beasts. And we were learning in the Torah we've read not too long ago. It's a command that you shall help your neighbor's animals, their neighbor's beast. If you see your neighbor's beast going astray, falling down, it can't get back up, you should help it back up. You should bring it back to your neighbor, because we should love the beasts. But even now we have in the second part, even the kindest things, or the little things that the wicked do that are good, they're still terrible. They're not good things, because they are wicked people. They are cruel.
It's like a saying we had. We had a husky one time, and he killed all these chickens, and he would not stop killing until the point where he actually killed a calf, and we had to get rid of him. And then when we got a puppy later on in life, we said it was something along the lines of, you on your worst day will never be as bad as this husky on his best day. And that's because when you see someone in life that is extremely evil, even their best day is wicked. Even though they might be attempting good, they are so deep in wickedness that all they can do is wicked. And the only way they can change their lives is to pray, repent, and get into that Torah. You have to diligently seek that Torah. If you are in the life of wickedness and all you can do is evil, even if you have good intentions on your heart, because men will have good intentions on their heart. The people in this world will have intentions that are good on their heart, but in the end it turns out wicked, because Yahuwah knows the plans, and if you go on your own understanding, you decide you are going to do this by yourself without asking Yah about this thing, you are going to end up, and it may end up something terribly happening.
If it's good in your eyes, not good in the eyes of Yahuwah, then it will not be good. If it is against Yahuwah's Torah, if it looks good to you, hey man, it looks good to maybe take a few extra dollars from this lady today instead of giving back her full change, and it might look good to you, but it's still bad to Yahuwah.
Verse 11, he that tills his land shall be satisfied with bread, but he that follows vain persons is void of understanding. In the NIV it says, those who work their land will have abundant food, but those who chase fantasies have no sense.
So there we go again with bringing in food for ourselves, being able to feed ourselves. He that tills his land shall be satisfied with bread. And now back in the day, most people were farmers. They didn't have a lot of other jobs. They didn't have office jobs. They didn't have electrician jobs. They were building farms. They were building fields. And most people are out in the fields working, providing food, because that was number one necessity, was food. So food is what is very important. It says if you till your land, you will be satisfied with bread. And that might be, you might be working, it might not be in a land, but you could be working on another job where you are bringing income for your bread. So if you are working, you will be satisfied. But if you're off doing something else in your own fantasies, what you want to do, and not satisfying yourself with food or working for that food, then you will not be satisfied. You will go hungry.
Yeah, there's a lot of get-rich-quick scams when people are in a rut instead of actually dedicating their life into some work, putting some time into the field. As when you have to plant, you have to sow the land, you have to uproot all the weeds, you have to plow the field to get the dirt ready, fertilize the field, and then plant. And consistently observe it, make sure there are no bugs eating it. You have to make sure that you are keeping it water. You have to make sure that you are fertilizing it with whatever fertilizer you use, right? You have to find a way to get the food growing in, and then food will come into you. You will have food when the time is ready, and you will not go hungry instead of chasing a vain fantasy.
In youth, if you don't have a job, or you may not be able to make money or be able to bring in food, you could always help around the house, make it easier on your parents to be able to bring in food. You could clean the house, you could do the chores, take care of the dog, whatever it is. Help the people out that are making the money, the people that are bringing in the food, putting the bread, satisfying the family with bread. Help them out, because they are the ones doing it, and they're probably exhausted from their work. So if you guys can help around extra, I'm sure it'd be a blessing to them. And Yahushua, as the truth, said, "Thank you for making these videos for the youth." Yes, we do. All glory to Yahuwah. Yahuwah told us to do this, so we will do this. He told us to teach what we know and teach what we learn, so that's what we are doing. Yes, you guys are all very welcome. Thank you very much for listening. It's up to you. Thank you to you guys, our family. All of you guys are our digital family that are listening, so thank you all as well.
Verse 12. The wicked desires the net of evil men, but the root of the righteous yields fruit. In the NIV it says, the wicked desire the stronghold of evildoers, but the root of the righteous endures.
So again, it says wicked people. Now, people that are wicked will desire other people in the wickedness of this world. They will desire what they have, whether it is a fame, whether it is a Satanist with money, whether it's anything. And you don't make it big in this world nowadays unless you have sold your soul to Satan, and that is a fact. Anyone you've seen in Hollywood is most likely drinking the blood of little children, unfortunately. And that is something that is against the Torah. You cannot do that anymore. You can't do that without making it big in this world. Is you have to lose your soul to Satan. You have to lose it one way or another, whether it's you slip away from Yahuwah to pursue the worldness, the wickedness of the world, and be worldly, or you sell your soul to make it big. And if you are desiring what the people in this world have, you are going astray. But if you are staying in righteousness, you will be firm in the Torah. You'll be firm in life. You will have you'll be satisfied with the Torah. You'll be satisfied with the bread at your table, not desiring more than what Yahuwah has given you.
Right, and wickedness, you shouldn't be looking for the world. If you see an evil man, if you see somebody who is rich because he has destroyed other people's lives, or he has stolen from someone and done everything in his life that is evil, you shouldn't desire that. You should be desiring for what Yahuwah wants. You should be desiring to be like Yehoshua. The one person you should desire to be like is Yehoshua. He was a perfect man that followed all the Torah. He obeyed his father's commands. He prayed. He was honest. He never lied. He never stole. He never did anything evil. He never broke the Torah once. That's what we should strive to be like. We should not strive for the wickedness of this world or evil men, or strive to be like other men. We should strive to be like Yehoshua. He is our number one example.
Verse 13. The wicked is snared by the transgression of his lips, but the just shall come out of trouble. In the NIV it says, evildoers are trapped by their sinful talk, and so the innocent escape trouble.
So when people say evil things, they get caught up in their evil things, and they will be judged that. You hear a lot of testimonies of the evil people. It will be recorded or something, and evil people will be caught for their evil deeds because their sinful talk gets them trapped. But if you say good things, if you are saying just things, you will be saved from whatever thing happens.
And those who speak wickedness, whether it's against the Torah, whether it's a lie, it is something that is evil in the sight of our Lord that goes against the Torah. Yahuwah is going to make sure that person is punished accordingly. He is a just person. He is a perfect person, right? Yahuwah is a person that desires justice, that desires honesty. He wants the people to walk in the ways of perfectness, where people are not getting ripped off, where you are not taxing your neighbor more than should be taxed when it's time to pay for goods. He doesn't want imbalanced scales. He does not want injustice in his land. He does not want injustice from his people. That is an abomination to his eyes. And if there are people saying wickedness, he is going to punish them. But if you are a person speaking the Torah, speaking righteousness, speaking love, he is going to save you. He is going to watch over you in everything that he does. And these are promises straight from the Bible. These are promises straight from him.
Verse 14. A man shall be satisfied with good by the fruit of his mouth, and the recompense of a man's hands shall be rendered unto him. In the NIV it says, from the fruit of their lips people are filled with good things, and the work of their hands brings them reward.
So there we go again. It says a man that works with his hands brings stuff in. It's like if you work, you will be rewarded. You will make money. You will be able to bring food to the table. It's mostly important about bringing food to the table and providing for your family. That's what it should be. That's why we till our land, is to provide for our communities, provide for our family, provide for our tribes, our nation. That's what we do. We are supposed to be providing for our families, and we will be rewarded when we work with our hands. But if we don't work with our hands, then we will be hungry. Our families will go hungry.
And it says at the beginning, from the fruit of the lips, the people are with good things. And that is true. When you hear something that is holy, when you hear blessings come from people's mouths that gives you life, that gives life into your bones, you feel blessed. People are ready to go. You can speak life into somebody. Someone could be on their worst day of their life. They're ready to end it all, and you could speak life into them by just telling them a few things of love, just telling them a few things that are good. You could save their lives by speaking those good things. That is something people should strive to do, especially nowadays in this world where everyone is at everyone's throat, angry with each other. Speaking love is a very rare thing. If you speak love to people, you'll be amazed by the reactions you get. You'll be amazed by the lives you save.
Verse 15. The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he that hearkens unto counsel is wise. In the NIV it says, the way of fools seems right to them, but the wise listen to advice.
So there we are again with the fool. The fool will always follow their own way. They will not listen to instruction. They will not listen to proof. And we can all be foolish, each and every one of us. It doesn't matter if we think we know the Bible or not. We can always still be foolish, no matter how many times we've read it, no matter how many times we've understood it and repeated it back. We can always be foolish. If we hate instruction, if we do not learn, if we will be a fool, if we keep going on our way. Let's say this: you go down an easier path, a shortcut to your local grocery store. It's an easier path, a shorter path, and your guy says, "Hey man, there's a crazy bear down there. Don't go down there." But you're not listening to him. You will get eaten by the bear because you didn't listen. And you could have gone a longer path, but you were the fool because you did not listen to what the person had to say. So in your own eyes, you saw that it looked like good to you, but in his eyes, he was trying to teach you that it was the wrong way.
Verse 16. A fool's wrath is presently known, but a prudent man covers shame. In the NIV it says, fools show their annoyance at once, but the prudent overlook an insult.
And I like the NIV version of this here because the world is very insulting. There are people that are going to insult you. What are you going to do when an entire group of people insult you of what you believe? Are you going to be annoyed? Are you going to show anger? Or will you do what Yahushua does? And that is a question for everyone, including ourselves here, is we have to be able to turn our cheek. We have to be able to say, I forgive you, and Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And that is what Yahushua did. He never once struck them down when people insulted him and hurt him. We have to overlook insults here. We have to cover the insults with love and say to ourselves, they know that they do not know the Torah. They are obviously speaking evil. They have demonic possession. You have to return that with love. You have to be willing to lay down your life for that person, even if they mocked you, even if they shamed you or hurt you. You have to be willing to put down your life and follow in the example Yahushua did. And Yahuwah will see that. Yahuwah sees the afflictions of his people. He does not let them go the people that are afflicting his people to go unpunished. He will fight your battles. We should let Yahuwah fight our battles. And that does not mean to not defend your families when the time comes, but when you are in a battle of words, when you are in a battle of evil, that people are trying to discredit you or hurt you, Yahuwah will deal with this. Yahuwah will absolutely deal with what needs to be done.
Right, and a lot of times people say evil things to you, and you have to let it go. You cannot keep dwelling on it. Because you need to feel bad for these people. Because this chapter is talking about the wicked tongue, the wicked words. And this is what this is. This is the wicked words. And if someone says wicked words, you need to forgive them. You need to feel bad for them. Because they are not in the Torah and they will be judged. But you have a chance to save them. If you show them love, maybe they won't insult you. Maybe they will. But it's up to you to try to teach them and try to teach them your best. If you get insulted for teaching, you will be blessed, and those people will not. Right, we shake off our boots as we leave that town, we leave that house, we leave those people, because it will be more bearable for Sodom and Gomorrah than it will be for those people in those days when the judgment comes.
Verse 17, he that speaks truth shows forth righteousness, but a false witness deceit. The NIV says, an honest witness tells the truth, but a false witness tells lies.
So that's really self-explanatory. That's extremely explanatory here. Is a person that's truthful is going to tell the truth. He is going to always be upright.
Right. When you see someone steal something and someone asks you, hey, did this person steal it? And you say, no, you are a deceiver, you're a liar, you have committed sin.
You have to always be willing to state the truth, even in dire situations, because the truth is, according to the Bible, the truth will set you free.
Right, and maybe that person gets away with stealing, and it was because you said he didn't steal. But you may not get judged that day, but Yahuwah will judge you. He writes down all of our sins. He has our sins recorded, and we will have to answer for them when we make it to the judgment.
It is much easier to tell the truth and get spun up in a lie than to struggle with the lie and try and figure out how to get out of it now that you are so deep into this mess, and figure out what are you going to do. Because the lie is, there's a really big saying of what a tangled web we weave when we practice to deceive. And when you lie, even if it's a dire situation, if someone you know will get punished, you have to tell the truth, or else it will get worse. When you lie, things will get much worse.
Shalom, Jenna. Thank you for joining us.
Verse 18. There is that speaks like the piercings of a sword, but the tongue of the wise is health.
And there we go again. Those that say evil will hurt you. It'll feel like a sword. Because a lot of times we say evil things, it can bring people down. If we tell them they're not good at this, or they did something wrong, and we say it in an evil way, we will hurt them. It'll be like a sword to them. They will feel like they have been stabbed.
And Solomon speaks about this a lot. Solomon, he's obviously has a problem here with people's tongues. He's obviously been insulted. He's obviously been attacked. And he will be, because he's the king. He's in a high place. Yahuwah said he was the chosen one to rule over Yasharel. And this is what he is going to do, is he's going to reign these people. He's obviously took insults. He was obviously able to overlook these things. He probably wasn't good at it first, but he learned that it's easier to look over an insult, that you should tell the truth, that the tongue is a very dangerous thing, and it has to be used correctly. You have to look at your tongue as a weapon, and you have to use it as a tool of love and not a tool of destruction.
Right, and if anyone who's ever had a gun, an air gun, a Nerf gun, anything like that, it is very dangerous. You must conceal it. You must hold it carefully, or you could shoot someone. You could shoot yourself. You must learn gun safety. You must learn how to hold it. Keep your finger off the trigger, because if you have your trigger on your tongue and you let it go, you will hurt someone just like a gun.
Yeah, words can kill and words can heal. You can destroy someone. You can destroy someone's life forever just by your words alone. And that's a crazy thing to think about. Is most people are hurt. Most people hurt themselves over words that they hear, over things that they have heard from other people. Whether it's growing up telling them that they are failures, that no one will love them, and that's not true. That Yahuwah loves them, and that's what they need to hear, is that they are loved by you, that you love them as a brother in Christ, that there is a place where they can talk about the problem that they can confide in you, and that you can teach them the Torah. That is something that your mission should be, is to spread love that Yahushua spread to everyone else.
Verse 19. The lip of truth shall be established forever, but a lying tongue is but for a moment. In the NIV it says, truthful lips endure forever, but a lying tongue lasts only a moment.
So lies will only last so long. Yahuwah will only have the lie go on so long, but he says the truth will stay forever. And the truth is what?
The truth is the Torah.
The truth is Torah. When we speak the Torah, it lasts forever. And that is something people don't have to understand here, is what they refer to when he speaks of truth, when he speaks of the way, is he's speaking of the Torah. And the Torah is not hard. The Torah is something that is easy. And when you are speaking the Torah, when you are speaking what is right in the eyes of Yah, it will be forever. And the lies will disappear. He says the lies will only be for a moment. In this moment, right now, where the world is in a huge deception, the grand deception, it will only go for a moment. Yahuwah will come, and it will feel like no time at all. We will be in the reign of Elohim, and his truth will reign. His Torah will be over us. He will watch over us as the creator, and we will be his people.
Shalom, Mary. Thank you for joining us as well.
Verse 20. Deceit is in the heart of them that imagine evil, but to the counselors of peace is joy. In the NIV it says, deceit is in the hearts of those who plot evil, but those who promote peace have joy.
So if you are a peacemaker, you will have joy, because there is no greater thing than to bring peace into people. Peace is an amazing feeling, and if you have peace in yourself and are able to spread it, that's an amazing thing. But people have wickedness in their hearts that are plotting evil. They have a darkness inside of them that they cannot get rid of. They are hurt inside, and they are passing it on because they were never shown the love of Yahuwah. And that's where we go back to, that you have to be the one to show love. Even if you are being hurt, that is something you absolutely have to do. The Bible is all about love. Yahuwah sent this to us in love. He never sent this to us in anger. Even if we anger him, he still loves us. He is still loving us with all his heart. And we need to return the favor by loving our neighbor as ourselves, right? We need to show what the love truly is, and that is showing them the Torah, that we are people of Yah, and Yah did not just destroy the people even though he wanted to. He relented from it. He felt bad about it. He he brought his people into the land, and he said, "You are my people, just do as I say." And the people nowadays were all scattered across the land. The people of Yasharel are scattered, and somebody you talk to could be a future person that you work with in the kingdom, and they could see you one day, and they could say to you, "Hey, those words you told me, the words of the Torah, the words of love that you gave me, it brought me to this moment here, and now I'm here in the kingdom with you, and I just want to thank you for that." And that could be something amazing. Maybe your actions don't have an effect right now, but in the future, in the kingdom, it could not even have an effect in this life, but in the kingdom, there will always be an effect. Yahuwah always repays the good, and he always repays the evil.
Right, and if you are a peacemaker, that is what you want to be. You want to strive for peace. Don't want to be at war. You don't want to be fighting with people. What if you see two brothers quarreling in Torah or outside of Torah, two family members, two sisters fighting and in Torah they're arguing? You want to stop that fight. You want to remind them that they need to be showing love and not fighting, and that there's an easier way to settle the matter. And you can go to the Bible if they're fighting over something about the Bible. Go to the Bible, find out what it is, and learn. Study to show yourself approved. Go learn that and help them out. Become the peacemaker.
Verse 21. There shall no evil happen to the just, but the wicked shall be filled with mischief. In the NIV it says, no harm overtakes the righteous, but the wicked shall have their fill of trouble.
No, it says no harm shall take over the righteous. Yahuwah will not harm the righteous. He will not hurt his perfect people. But that does not mean we will not have tribulations. We will not be tested. Because, again, the devil went to Yahuwah, and Job was a perfect man. Job was a perfect man, right? He was doing the Torah. He was sacrificing. He wasn't sinning. And it says that he was tempted. He was tested by the devil. The devil killed all his children, killed all his animals, took all his riches, took his kingdom from him, took his everything. And his friends came and said evil things to him. He was tested by his friends. And he did nothing wrong, and he did not curse Yahuwah. And that is not, just because we will not be harmed by Yahuwah, does not mean we cannot be tested by the devil. Yahuwah will not put us through tests. Because, again, if you learn about Abraham's sacrifice of Yitzchak, Isaac, and Jasher talks about it and explains why. And Isaac's talking to his older brother,
his older brother Ishmael.
Ishmael, he's talking to him, and they're talking about who's more righteous. He goes, I would offer myself as sacrifice if Yahuwah asked.
And Satan took that, and he took that to Yah and says, okay, well, Yitzchak said, and Yitzchak is the Hebrew name for Isaac, and he says, Yitzchak says that he wants to sacrifice himself, let it be done. And Yahuwah says, okay, we will see what my servant Abraham does. And Abraham, of course, complies. But Yahuwah is not going to tempt you. It says Yahuwah is not the tempter. In James, you will read that Yahuwah is not the tempter, that the devil himself is the tempter. He will try and stop you, just as he attacked all throughout the Bible. Hasatan is always there trying to destroy the people of Yah. He hates those people. It's a war for souls, and if you let Satan win, if you let him be taken over by giving in during your tribulation, during your trial, you lose the faith in Yah. You lose that. Yahuwah loses your soul. That means Satan has taken your soul. Satan wins your soul over that, and that's something you can't let do. But Yahuwah will not harm you. Yahuwah will be there to protect you. He may let you go through tribulations, but he's not going to let you go through this tribulation forever.
Verse 22. Lying lips are abomination to Yahuwah, but they that deal truly are his delight. The NIV says, the Lord detests lying lips, but he delights in people who are trustworthy.
So that's really self-explanatory. He hates people that lie. He hates unjust imbalances. He hates the unjust skill. That's all.
And he may not hate the, but he hates your sin. He hates you lying, because lying is an abomination. Yahuwah only wants the truth. He doesn't want his people falling away from it. He doesn't want his people doing evil things. He wants people in truth and truth only. So you got to tell the truth, because if you're not telling the truth, then you are wickedness. You are sinning, and as breaking the Torah, you must repent for those sins.
Verse 23. A prudent man conceals knowledge, but the heart of fools proclaims foolishness. The NIV says, the prudent keep their knowledge to themselves, but a fool's heart blurts out folly.
There are a lot of matters that need to be kept secret in life. Sometimes people come to you with things, people that will have serious troubles in life, and they've put it on you to keep that secret, to help them with it. And if you blurt that folly, if you blurt out everything that says, if you cannot, what we said before in previous videos, if you can't keep your mouth quiet, if you can't be quiet, you are going to destroy that person's life.
Right, and this isn't talking about someone's sin, right? If you see someone steal, you should tell that person still. It's not something that should be kept secret.
But if it's something they're struggling with, something they bring it to you in the Bible, they're like, hey, I'm struggling in the faith here and I need your help, and you go to another brother in the faith and you go to this brother and explain it, and this brother comes to you, he's going to break his trust and you could push him farther away from Yah. You must hold the matter a secret. You must hold that matter to your heart and keep it between you and Yah if he has asked for it to be a secret, unless it's something that absolutely needs to be brought before brothers, if he is insofar in sin that it actually needs to be dealt with by the judges.
No pearls before swine. Thanks for joining us, and Yahuwah bless you as well.
Verse 24. The hand of the diligent shall bear rule, but the slothful shall be under tribute. The NIV says, diligent hands will rule, but laziness ends in forced labor.
So there we go. It's working and working and working. And a lot of times in life, we work, and the harder we work, we might get a promotion, we may become a manager, we may become a boss or CEO, or maybe we rule over a land. Yahuwah maybe gives us something because we are hard, diligent workers in His Torah, and we lead people. We can end up leading people. But if you are lazy and you will not, you will be under force rule. You will be under something that you don't want to be. You will be upset. You will be mad at your position. You'll be angry at your position.
Yeah, there's two ways to look at this. You can either look at it through the worldly manner of are you going to be prepared? Are you working for your food? Or are you going to be a slave to someone else? Are you going to be a servant? Or the biblical way to look at it is when Yahushua says, those who do the Torah and teach it are blessed, and they will be the highest in the kingdom. Or will you be the lowest in the kingdom for not teaching it, for not doing it? Will you be lowest in the kingdom, or will you be kicked out? Will you not even be a servant at all? Will you go hungry? Will you not be satisfied in the kingdom? Will you be put in the weeping and gnashing of teeth in the lake of fire? And that is probably the best way to look at it through the kingdom is, are you doing your best for Yah? Are you being part of the harvest? Are you a good shepherd to the people around you, the people that are asking you about the Torah, your family? Are you feeding those sheep? Are you feeding the people around them? Because the people of Yah are the sheep, and He's going to separate the sheep from the goats. And when He separates them, He's either going to put you in the sheep or the goats. And if you're part of the goats, He's going to send you away. He only wants His sheep. He wants His people because He's the good shepherd. He knows His sheep, and His sheep know Him. And if we know Him, we're going to be following in His footsteps. We are going to be following what He has told us.
Verse 25. Heaviness in the heart of man makes it stoop, but a good word makes it glad. In the NIV it says, anxiety weighs down the heart, but a kind word cheers it up.
So that is what we said before. Someone could be in a very depressive state. Someone could be very broken, and you can say something kind to them, and you can help them. You can build that person up. You can bless them with your words alone.
Right, anxiety weighs you down. Sometimes I feel like I get anxiety. I feel like I get stressed out, and my heart will feel heavy. I don't know why. I think the demons just like to fight me, but that you will feel anxiety, and it'll bring you down. But people can bring you back up with saying nice things, helping you out, and reminding you that it's not all that bad. That it's not as bad as you think it is, or you feel it is, or the demons make you think it is.
And that's something everyone should strive to do, is help the people, is to bless the people with the knowledge of the Torah, to bless the people with the love of Yahuwah that they have been given. There is no reason to keep all the love from Yahuwah to yourself when you could be giving away, showing other love, spreading the love, because that's what love is to give and to give to others.
And another thing you gotta remember is it could always be worse. Whatever you might have anxiety over, it could always be worse. Remember that, because where you might have a house. Remember, there's a lot of people in the brethren that are following the Torah in our family that do not have a house. There's some without food, some without jobs, some that cannot take care of their families, and it's not their fault. But remember, you can always have it much worse. So just remember that as you feel stressed or have anxiety, just remember Yahuwah has a plan for you, and He will not let you fall. No matter if you go homeless or without food, Yahuwah will always be there to pick you up.
Yeah, the ravens, if you look at the story of Elijah, how the ravens came down and fed him. They brought him meat, they brought him food, they brought him bread, they brought him all this food. And the Yasharites as well, how He brought them manna every morning to make bread. He kept sending manna. He's always going to take care of His people. That is His promise to us.
Verse 26. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduces them. And the NIV says, the righteous choose their friends carefully, but the way of the wicked leads them astray.
And this is where I like the NIV a little more these different translations, because not every translation is the best.
It doesn't always make sense.
Sometimes it always doesn't make sense, but if you have split it up and you read over different versions, and it says the righteous choose their friends carefully, and that is absolutely true. If you choose a friend that is worldly, that is of anti-Torah, they are going to try and bring you into things that are against Yah, they could bring you into a thing that could destroy your life, that you can lose your soul for.
Right, you gotta be careful who you're around, because those people, your friends, will want to take you places you shouldn't be. They'll want to have you go to parties, worldly parties. They'll want to have you do evil things. They'll try to have you hang out with wicked people. And that's something you don't want to be. You want to find people that are in the faith, that are following the Torah. You must choose your friends very carefully. Now, it doesn't mean don't hang around people. It means not to listen to them, not to go with them, not to get too close to them, because you're trying to teach them. What you want to do is teach them. And maybe once they're in the complete faith, once they let their worldly ways go, then become a good friend with them. But it is good to choose your friends very carefully.
Verse 27. The slothful man roasts not that which he took in hunting, but the substance of a diligent man is precious. The NIV says, the lazy do not roast any game, but the diligent feed on the riches of the hunt.
Yeah, the lazy, if they don't go out and hunt for their food, you have a deer or something, you go out and hunt. People eat that, they'll get food off that. They may get a couple months of food depending on what they've killed, right? But if you are lazy and you don't get that, you're going to go hungry.
And that could be with a job as well, making money. If you are not out working and making money, if you're not diligent for Yahuwah, you will not be fed from Yahuwah. You will not be fed with the Spirit. And if you are that person that is trying to feed off other people, then that is not what you should be doing. You should be trying to feed off yourself. But always remember that Yahuwah provides for those who are working for themselves. Yahuwah takes care of those who try to take care of themselves.
Verse 28. In the way of righteousness there is life, but along that path is an immortality. That was the NIV. 7 says, in the way of righteousness is life, and the pathway thereof there is no death.
So in the way of righteousness, in the way of the Torah, there is life. We strive to be on this life, because entering through the narrow gate is life. And since many are called, but few are chosen, a lot of people won't make it. Most of the world will not make it. There's, 7-8 billion people in the world? Most of them will not make it. I'm sure there's not many. And only 144,000 are chosen of the righteous.
Of the elect, what is called the elect, only 144,000 are chosen.
Right,
that's a really small number. That's a very small percentage. Not even a million, 144,000. That's just an absolutely small number compared to what the world has. And not everyone is going to make it in the kingdom. Unfortunately, it'd be great if they did, but the way of this world, Hasatan already has their souls from day one. And you can change. There will be people you can change that you can put on the path, and that is what you should do. But there is no death on that path of righteousness. And when you are in the Torah, that is what is righteous, because unrighteousness would be against the Torah. That is what Yahuwah has called good. That is what He's called truth. He has called it holy. And anything He has called good or holy means that is what He wants us to do. He does not want us to go against Torah. And the Torah are very simple commands. We're doing a series right now of the Torah. We're going through all the commands, and so far nothing has been too hard to do. Nothing has been too strenuous. Nothing has been a burden on anyone. It does not stop us from doing our daily lives and living our lives. There's nothing that stops it. There's nothing that, other than we don't eat pork, we don't drink the blood, we don't do any of that. And so that is the end of this video. That is
right. And I want to go a little bit more into that second part of the verse. In the second part of the verse, it says, there is no death on this path. On this path of righteousness, there's no death. And you must understand that this death may not be on this earth. You might die on this earth. There's definitely death on this earth. But it's talking about the second life, when you are judged. When Yahuwah is selecting His people, like, who are my people? Or did you follow me? I knew you, I did not know you. And on that, there's no death on that path. So the death, you will make it, and if you are righteous, you will make it to the next life. But if you are unrighteous, you will find death. And the death is a spiritual death, not a physical death, but a spiritual. And Yehoshua said to not fear those who can hurt the body, but fear those who hurt the body and can condemn the soul. So guys, do not be afraid of people. Do not be afraid of death. On this earth, we should not be afraid of death. If you are following Torah and you are righteous, if you are doing everything you can to follow Yahuwah and obeying His commands, there is no reason to fear death. But if you are unrighteous and you are doing evil things, then you should fear death, because you will be condemned. So it is time to change your ways before you die. Because if you die before you repent, if you die before you change your ways, you will make death. You will find death. So you're not on that path. So remember to go to that, find that path of life. Do not find that path of death. Because that path of life will keep you alive for the next world. But on these people on this earth, they might kill you, they might hurt you, but they can't condemn your soul. You choose if you get your soul condemned or not because of what you've done. So remember to follow Yahuwah and obey His commands. Well said, well said.
Alright guys, that was the end of the video. I didn't say this in the beginning of the video, but if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Please ask us. Prayer requests.
Prayer requests, they are very important to us. We have a list of people we pray for. If you guys have injuries, family problems, someone struggling in faith, newcomers that need help, whatever, any problem that you have with anything, just put it down in the comments and let us know so we can pray for you, the people on the list. It's always great to have people that are in the Torah praying for you. That is who you want praying for you, the people in the Torah, because their prayers are heard. And then we also have, for the youth, we have a Telegram group. It is in the description already, so if you guys click the link, if you guys have Telegram. And for those who don't know how to get it, just go to your app store, or it's better to get it on the version. Just look up Telegram.
In your browser, they have an
right,
app.
In Chrome, Google Chrome, Firefox, Brave, whatever browser you just look up Telegram. You can download it for your phone or tablet or computer. You do need a phone number for it, but it's just download it and install it. It's a great program, and you can join the group. And there's a few people in there. It's not too active right now. More people we get, the more active it will be. But yeah, we're always there if you guys want to join the group and want to talk or hang out with some people that follow Torah and that you need some friends. We are always there in the group. And if you guys have any questions, if you guys have anything for us, put it in the comments below, and we will get back to you as soon as possible.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Shalom.
Shalom, everyone.